At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Support the programs you love and wear your Mississippi pride on your sleeve, literally, with the new merch on the MPB shop. Check out our latest drop with apparel from your favorite TV and radio shows, both current and throwback, featuring fan favorites like Next Stop Mississippi, Southern Dish, Ampton Wired, and more. Every purchase you make supports MPB. Visit mpbonline.org and click the shop button at the top to show your support today.
Well, good day, sunshine, and welcome to Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White and Carol Palmer. Good afternoon, Carol.
A lot of sunshine out there, Mal. It is 100 degrees on the thermometer.
A little warm, but here it is July, late July, and that's what happens in this part of the world. So how have you been?
I've been great.
We had lunch this week.
Boy,
we actually went out and had lunch, and we went to the Delta this past weekend.
Hey, we've been doing a lot, and we've got a lot more on our schedule. But
we do.
The fun thing, we went to Rosie Mae's soul food restaurant in Jackson. Been there since 1988.
Yep.
And I've gotten to know her daughter, Yolanda, who we've worked together some, and. Anyway,
there's many connections in Rosie Mae's.
There are so many connections, and we'll tell the other ones. So we kind of got talking about it because I was disappointed that we went somewhere and there was no fried chicken. And Yolanda said, well,
from the week before.
Yes.
And when we went to Yazoo City.
Yeah, I said every day. And she said every day at Rosie Mae's is fried chicken day.
Famous fried chicken.
Yep.
So we had the fried chicken.
Yeah, we did. And we had fried chicken, baked chicken.
Chicken and dumplings.
That's right. It was Tuesday. Chicken and dumplings.
Chicken and dumplings, which you took home to John.
Home to John, and
they were delicious.
And I've been looking at her other days too, so we've got to kind of plan.
We'll go back.
Yeah, we're going to go back. But okay,
it was so great because we were just in there, sort of
hanging out.
Yeah, we were just in there having lunch and checking it out, and lo and behold, the chef came over to our table.
Well, he didn't really. He looked around.
He's walking around. He saw us.
Malcolm, what are you doing in here?
Philip Nelson is the son of Rosie Mae and is the chef of this fine establishment, and he is married to Alicia Nelson, who used to work at the Arts Commission with us, and who knew.
It's such a small world.
And there he was, Chef Philip.
And it was so interesting because, like you were saying, I thought he was on a cruise ship or
No,
something.
I thought he was with institutional,
it
cafeteria.
was like Viking cruise ships.
Oh, it was cruise ships.
And according to Yolanda, he was over one boat, for food service. And then they put him over all of the boats in that area, so in whatever region they were in. But anyway, the point is, it's wonderful to see family restaurants like this. This restaurant's 37 years old, if I've done my math, and to have a second generation standing in the wings, and we'll probably get them on pretty soon and kind of hear the story. It would be a good story.
Indeed. And speaking of riverboats, our great friend in Natchez, Regina Charbonneau, also has long been the chef and conducted cooking classes on the riverboats that come to Natchez. And she has announced the grand reopening
of King's Tavern.
King's Tavern, which is the oldest inn in the state of Mississippi. It's the oldest restaurant.
She said oldest building.
And
so
building.
Is that wild?
Very wild. And it's haunted. I know because I've been there many times.
Well, and they closed around. I mean, she and her brother maybe owned it, and they closed around COVID time.
They had a COVID, and they had a distillery in there. There was a rum distillery and a sort of a pizza restaurant.
Yeah.
But COVID got all of that, and it's set for a while. And now she's reopening. She's going to do cooking classes.
And somebody else bought it, and they said, "I will buy the building if you will
if you'll come back." And we're glad she did.
And
so she has a new cookbook. She's now starting, reimagining King's Tavern as a special events place, cooking classes, and we're going to have our own soon to drill into all of that.
So put that on your calendar. September 1st, King's Tavern in Natchez reopens.
Other news, country pleasin' sausage. There's a real sort of battle on between Conecuh of Alabama and country pleasin' of Mississippi. And you can't mention one without someone sort of saying, but wait a minute, what about our own country pleasin' sausage? So they have a great packing plant and outlet on 49 South.
In Florence or down in there.
Around in there. And recently, I've been seeing on social media that they've started serving lunch.
They have, it looks like, a great plate lunch right now. They have a half chicken plate lunch for $9.99.
Pork chops.
Yeah.
Yep. So
we got to do that one.
That's on the list, but we want to encourage others who are interested in plate lunches and lunch specials to stop in Country Pleasin' Sausage on 49 and have one. Our friend Alon Shaya has a new cookbook, which he talked about when we interviewed him at the Max in Meridian, but it's out now, entitled Memories of a Good Meal.
Yeah,
So
I
Alon
really
of
like
New
that
Orleans.
guy. I love his cooking, and I loved his last cookbook. So let's try to talk to Marissa about getting him on.
Yeah, we need to get him back to talk about Memories of a Good Meal, and we're happy for him that he's gotten this book out into the world. The owner of Taste Restaurant in Starkville and in Ridgeland has announced very ambitious plans to open a restaurant in every Southeastern Conference town, city, village, whatever they might be.
I would say that's some ambition.
By 2029. So,
Well, he's
Craig
a busy
Fant.
guy.
Craig
Yes.
Fant is planning on very much expanding the Taste Restaurant brand all across the SEC. So if you haven't tried it, we have one in Ridgeland at the Renaissance, and there's one in Starkville as well.
Well, Mal, this is July, and we are wrapping up Hot Dog Month.
Hot dogs.
National Hot Dog Month.
Yes.
And I sent you something about a 65-foot-long hot dog sculpture that is in Times Square right now.
Yeah, that was
And it said
mind-blowing.
it's a patriotic and uneasy symbol for the
And-
United States 250th anniversary.
Yeah, and I think it sort of rises up and shoots out some sort of.
I don't know,
I don't
what,
know.
What it shoots out, but
It's a sculpture.
It is,
And it's
and
a salute to America 250, but it's also a very interesting commentary on.
and
Life
it stretches all the way
in
between
America.
46 and 47th Street.
Yeah. It shoots confetti. Is what I was.
Yes.
What I remembered.
Anyway, that was some pretty
Big news. Big news. After 15 years, Sombra here in Ridgeland is closing on the Highland Colony Parkway. And that's amazing. That place has been a very popular Mexican restaurant for a long, long time, 15 years, in fact. Interesting, the announcement did not come with any reason other than they had run their cycle and they were closing, and another restaurant would be taking over the location, and that was that. No complaining about the economy or the cost of food or what have you, just that they were done. And sometimes that's just the way it is. We'll miss Sombra, and we
Can't wait to see what's coming.
see what's next on the horizon. So, Carol, it's National Mustard Day on August the 1st, speaking of hot dogs.
I'm so happy for you.
And, we never met a condiment we didn't like. Mustard is one of my favorites. I don't know about you.
Do you know how long people have been eating mustard?
How long?
3,000 years.
3,000 years.
Yep.
Now, that's worth celebrating
They
right there.
found mustard seeds in the tombs in ancient Egypt. So there you go.
And mustard is made from the crushed seeds of the brassica plant, which is that plant is in the. I wish Felder were here. Is in the family of broccoli, cabbage, and kale, and this brassica is. I mean, mustard is Latin for the word cabbage.
Malcolm,
who knew?
Who knew? And another thing about those seeds, those little tiny seeds, I mean, they can sit somewhere indefinitely. I mean, as evidenced by finding mustard seeds in the pharaoh's tombs.
Exactly. And, mustard is nothing more than crushed seeds, water, and vinegar. And then there are, of course, varieties of mustard. We all know that. There's yellow mustard, which is made yellow by turmeric.
Hot item.
There's Dijon mustard, which uses the brown seeds. And then there's whole mustard, which is uncrushed seeds. And each one is mixed with a configuration of water, vinegar, and other spices. But I do love mustard.
I know you do. And when you told me about National Mustard Day, I mean, I got excited. I said, well, I'm going to look up a few facts.
Go ahead.
Malcolm.
Lay it on me.
In 1904, at the St. Louis World's Fair, French's introduced their bright yellow mustard. And yellow mustard and hot dogs, what a pairing. And it became the standard topping for hot dogs. But
Indeed.
World's Fair.
World's Fair. Now, I love a hot dog with mustard, sweet relish, and a little onion. That's my favorite mixture. What about yours? I do love the Chicago hot dog, which is far more complicated.
Which they say they run it through the garden. It has about everything in it.
It's far more complicated. Yeah. But just if someone says, would you like a hot dog? And I say, yes, I'm looking for mustard, onion, and sweet pickle relish.
Well, I'll admit to a little mayonnaise on mine.
Nothing wrong with that.
A little mayonnaise, mustard, and I like a spicy sweet pickle relish, something like Wickles pickles or those. Now they have Mickles.
Mickles, Wickles, pickles.
But something that has a little sweet hot.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, and we do love our hot dogs and our mustard here on Deep South Dining.
And, in the Deep South, mustard goes in our deviled eggs, potato salad, ham glaze.
Absolutely.
Pimento cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we use it.
It goes everywhere. So mustard, and more mustard, I say. One of my favorite sandwich spreads is equal parts mustard and mayonnaise, and three parts mustard, mayonnaise, and olive salad mixed together on a sandwich.
You always are all about the olive salad.
Yes, love the olive salad. All right, with that, we'll take a break, and we got an exciting show today. We've got our great friend Joe Cravens, Chef Joe Cravens from Walker's Drive-In and other locations that we'll talk about.
To be announced.
Yes, Joe will be with us, and he brought a special guest. We're looking forward to having Jack in the studio. Little Joe, we call him Jack. So we'll be back with more Deep South Dining. If you want to join the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. It's 1-877-672-7464, or shoot us an email to food@mpbonline.org. More Deep South Dining after a very short break.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Support the programs you love and wear your Mississippi pride on your sleeve. Literally, with the new merch on the MPB shop. Check out our latest drop with apparel from your favorite TV and radio shows, both current and throwback, featuring fan favorites like Next Stop Mississippi, Southern Dish, Ampton Wired, and more. Every purchase you make supports MPB. Visit mpbonline.org and click the shop button at the top to show your support today.
Welcome back to Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White with Carol Palmer. Thank you for joining us today. This is the show all about the culture of Southern flavor. Deep South Dining's podcast is brought to you by Mississippi Red Pepper Sauce. You can discover more at msredpeppersauce.com, and we thank you. Well, Carol, you know, some restaurants feed people, others become a part of a story of a city. Walker's Drive-In has been doing both for generations. Today, we're visiting with the man who's been entrusted with carrying on one of Mississippi's great culinary traditions into the next chapter. Chef Joe Cravens, thank you for being back with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Why don't you introduce your sidekick here, just so our listeners, will, when they hear little sounds, they'll know where they're coming from.
So this is my little dude, Jack. Jack, tell
Hey,
me
Jack.
how old you are.
Oh, he's three.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And we've been doing this for a long time together.
Good. We're glad to have him.
Yeah. He was a sickly child when he was young, so we were going
You
over.
did a lot of stuff together,
We
huh?
did. We
Oh,
did.
that's cool. That's cool. Well, you know, tell us a little bit about yourself. We've had you on before. We've talked a little bit about your growing up in Memphis and how you got interested in the food business, but I think it wouldn't hurt to sort of recap some of that history.
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and jumped on board with a bunch of restaurants along the way. Big ones were Snack Bar when I was in college, and then I jumped over to Atlanta, and I worked for Miller Union, Steven Satterfield for a while. And
You know,
then,
you can just stop right there and have a pretty damn good,
Yeah.
good career.
I know.
Darn good career.
That's
So-
that was my goal when I was growing up. It was like, how do I get in with every big chef that I possibly can? And then I called, home Jackson, and Derek Emerson was the last great chef that I worked for, and I thank God every day that I did.
Yeah, he's the top of the heap, and he's doing great things. And but you also work with Vish Bhatt
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
up in-
we-
Oh, yeah.
up in Oxford.
Yeah, we want to hear a story. I mean, Indian, he really took Indian food
Yeah.
and combined it with Southern food.
Oh,
He did a thing.
I can remember doing Indian plays on Big Macs, and they were like the best. It was
Oh,
like
yeah?
the best thing I ever ate. And so, no, Vish was incredibly talented. I was very lucky to get to work with him. But just like every
And he's
chef,
in D.C. now, right?
he is. He's with Chai Pani and killing it up there. So
Chapani was one of my favorite restaurants in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that was their home originally. So he's with a good group.
he is.
And I remember they developed a line of spices with
They
his
did.
name when his book came out.
They're very good spices.
And then Steven Satterfield is also a great, well-known chef in the South.
He is. Just watching Steven touch food, you could really see the love when he would pick it up. I mean, it was like a newborn baby almost. He really, really loved it.
And so you went to work for Derek at Walker's. What year was that?
Oh gosh, that was, at this point, it was probably 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
And so did you come there as the executive chef, or did you come there just as a sous chef, or line cook? What were you doing?
So when I jumped on with Derek originally, it was funny. They were in their 1 week vacation. So he emailed me, which I found this email just the other day, which was nostalgic to see. But he said, "Hey man, I apologize. We're closed right now at Walker's, but I'm going to throw some other executive chefs in, one being Meredith Bittman and the other being Chaz Lindsay." And Chaz responded and said, "Yeah, why don't you come down tomorrow at 10 a.m.?" And he didn't show up till 1 p.m. But, I sat in the parking lot, and that was an amazing adventure as well. So I jumped on. I was kind of in that moment in my life where I was like, I don't want to work nights anymore. So they put me on as the salad saute guy, which it was definitely an experience doing both. But
now, was that at Parlor Market?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So I worked lunch at Parlor Market for about a year. And then Derek, Chaz moved to El Paso in Texas, and Derek asked me if I wanted to be the chef there. And I kind of hesitated because I was just the salad guy in the morning. But then he made me chef de cuisine and put Ethan on, and then about 3 months later, I just became executive chef. So,
What a great restaurant.
Yeah, indeed.
Man, do we have some fond memories of that.
And then you spent some time with U.S. Foods. Is that
I did.
Is that where we go next?
That was an amazing experience as well, because that showed me the ins and outs of the industry that you don't really see on a normal basis. I was doing a lot of the ordering and creating new dishes and everything at Parlor Market, but when it came to the books and the ins and outs of, everything, I really got to see that a lot more from U.S. Foods. And I learned, one of the partners with U.S. Foods just did my website, Spot Hopper.
Oh, okay.
And they do a great job. So little stuff that I learned along the way, now I'm implementing it for my own. So it was a great experience.
Jack's having a big time. So from there, what did you do after the U.S. Foods? You came back in the restaurant business?
Yeah. I was driving down 20, and Chaz Lindsay called me and said, "Why don't you go? You need to go talk to Derek." I said, "Man, I'm not getting back into the restaurant industry."
No way.
And he said, "No, he doesn't want to hire you. He wants to talk to you about buying the place." And I said, I'll go talk to him. And the next morning, and God, I say this every time, God does work in mysterious ways. I had a meeting to go to in Mobile, Alabama for U.S. Foods that Friday, and it was a big one. And my wife woke up with the flu, and I was like, "Well, I've got to stay here. I can't leave you with the kids." And she was like, "Look," it was like at 5 a.m. at this point. She said, "The kids aren't going to wake up till about 7:30. Go right now and see if you can talk to Derek." And I said, "Okay." And I think at 5:45, I went out to Sacred Ground, and he was doing barbecue. And I made it out there by 6. And that kind of started everything. I just said, "What do I need to do?" And he said, "Sit down with me and Jennifer, and let's create a game plan." And for 6 months, I worked my butt off to create a business plan and get everything put in place. And
were you cooking there while you were doing that, the business plan?
I was. So that was about 6 months out. About 3 months into that, then we really started to catch momentum, and we noticed that it was about to happen. Mm-hmm. So it was like, okay, why don't you get back into the kitchen? And so
you left U.S. Foods at that point, or not?
I think for about 2 months, I did nights at Walker's, mornings at U.S. Foods.
Oh, I got you.
And then the last month,
You get the red one.
I got to use the red one, buddy.
Me get the blue one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. You love blue. So
It's a kid show, you know.
Yeah, it is.
We like to mix in the 3-year-olds with everything here.
And I heard y'all say the Delta. He's been to Crystal Grill with me before they closed. He's been
great.
all over the place. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sees himself on the YouTube, and it's pretty exciting for a 3-year-old.
Let's sit down, buddy.
Look at me.
Yep. If you sit right there.
So, coming into Walker's, with the legacy,
Hey,
with Derek's legacy, how do you build your own? I mean, what do you do?
Well, first you just make sure that you're meeting the quality that they were meeting. So it's like every day I was,
look at me.
okay, we'll get you in just a second. There you are. So we were just trying to meet, I mean, right out of the gate, we had a salad in the morning time that had sliced red onions. And for whatever reason, my new salad guy put the chopped red onions. And the woman complained and said, I've been coming to Walker's for 20 years. And I've never had
I
to
don't want
chop up
chopped
my onions. And so when people say we had to like make sure everything was perfect, it was down to the onion.
We get a blue one.
So we did that, and we kind of took off with it, and it was, and it's still a challenge because, it never ends. We're only one year in, so
Has it been a whole year?
It has.
Wow. Seems like it was just the other day.
I know, right? July 11th was our 1 year.
Wow.
So
Congratulations. That's
thank
big.
you. It is.
And how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel about this year? Do you feel like you have achieved most of what you would have hoped to have achieved? Do you think you're halfway there? How does it feel?
No, I definitely think we've gotten there. The thing about Walker's is you don't want to go, yes, I can make it my own, but Walker's is such a landmark, and the menu that Derek put in place has been there for 20 plus years. And we, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we've done that. And we play, fun specials every single night. And that's kind of been the game plan for us. Once those specials, we do plan to add some of them to the menu for the long run. But it's so funny. I mean, the stuff that, I never have to throw food away. I never have things that don't sell. Everything on that menu sells. So that's when you have to ask yourself, do we replace it? Do we play the line of trying to do something different when we're selling the stew out of something that people love?
Right.
Because the fried oysters on the menu, every day people are like, when did you put this on the menu? I'm like, Derek did 20 years ago. So, but with social media now, you can throw that stuff on there and people are seeing it and they're coming in and trying stuff that they might not have. So that's worked really well for us. But right now, the food that's on there, it's foolproof. It's good. So, and we don't take ownership of it. I have a breakfast, and I tell everybody, I'm like, look, Derek worked hard on this food, and it's great. And they're asking me about dishes, and I make sure to tell them right out of the gate. I'm like, this is Derek's,
right?
Because I know how hard it is to come up and do what he did to make that menu.
Yeah.
But it's part of Walker's, and we just can't rip that out from the customers that come every night.
On our show, we've talked with different chefs that Jackson punches, way above its weight in the restaurant business. There's so many great restaurants here. And what makes Jackson diners different from those in Memphis or Atlanta?
Well, the Southern hospitality, everybody in Jackson, that's why I ended up calling this home. It's a different breed. They're the best people to me. I've lived, I've traveled, I've seen, and I always come back. So I wasn't born here, but I will definitely die here. I love Jackson, Mississippi. There's something about it.
Well, it certainly loves you.
I appreciate that. We everybody here. I tell the story. When I was in Atlanta, I would go to a gas station every morning. And this is back when I was smoking cigarettes, but the guy ID'd me every single morning for a year straight. And I'm
He was just trying to help you quit.
Yeah, I guess so. And same guy, me, and every morning. And here, the people, it doesn't even matter if you're the guy at the counter at the gas station, or if you're in an elevator, someone's going to say hello to you, or they're going to learn your face, your ID. And to me, that's the most important. So
y'all have overcome some construction here lately. I know you have a new, is it Estelle's?
Louise's.
I'm sorry, got the wrong name. Sorry, Joe.
They've taken off, and Tom has done a fantastic job over there. For someone
Tom Rice next
Tom
door.
Rice, yes, sir. For someone that's never been in the restaurant industry, he shows no signs of it.
Well, I've got to go talk to him because he's been in the food industry. When he was in the 10th grade, 9th or 10th grade, he took over the concessions at New Stage.
Look at Carol.
And I was,
all right.
Yeah.
I think I was president of New Stage at the time, and then I had the Everyday Gourmet, and this wonderful kid comes in the Everyday Gourmet telling me, he's 15, and says, I really want to elevate the concessions, beyond M&Ms and stuff like that. So I would let him go into my my food catalogs, and I'd sit at the counter with him and, place orders through the Everyday Gourmet so he could have fine chocolate. So you'll have to remind him of that.
That's fine. That is Tom.
And then also, I, along with my good friend Donna Barksdale, we didn't have extra money to give, but we were investors in Tom's first film.
Really?
I mean, I think our investment was $1,000, but to us at that time it was a huge amount of money. So we were investors.
Tom, he's done a fantastic job there, from the drinks to the service to, like you were just talking about, he really notices the details. Yeah. And he's taken off with that, and he's going to do very well right there.
So what are you doing about the parking situation
So that's actually, probably why we're here today. I spoke to Doug Boone about.
And he's the head of Fondren, the neighborhood association,
yes,
Fondren Renaissance.
That was about 3 or 4 months ago, and I told him, do I need to buy a golf cart and start shuttling people back and forth to the parking garage, or do I need to go and get insurance and have valet right here at the front? How do I go about this? Because we have customers that come in every day, and when you have to watch them in 100-degree heat walking back and forth, and their age doesn't meet doing that, it's no fun, no bueno. So that's kind of been the goal. And in the process, we have obtained a lot of other things. But the plan is to knock out the front sidewalk and put a valet lane so that it doesn't stop traffic on North State Street. And once we're able to do that, I think we should be good to go.
Okay.
All right. Great. Let's take a break, and we'll come back with more from Chef Joe Cravens. We appreciate you listening today. We're having a big time up here at Deep South Dining. We've got Jack and Joe landing way up here in the studio. But anyway, we'll be right back with more from Chef Joe Cravens of Walker's Drive-In and more.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Welcome back to Live Radio. This is Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio. Malcolm White, Carol Palmer, and our special guest, Chef Joe Cravens from Walker's Drive-In and other establishments, which we will get to here shortly. But you know, Walker's began as an actual drive-in restaurant, and today it's considered a contributing structure within what's called downtown Fondren's historic district. And I had the great pleasure, Joe, I think I mentioned this last time you were here, I owned Walker's for a brief time in the very early 80s. And we ran it as a drive-in, but we segued to bringing in Charlie and Ann Heineman, who turned it into a white tablecloth restaurant and began sort of the tradition that you, my young man, are carrying out to this day. And Carol, you know, the neighborhood of Fondren is fascinating. Some people think it's just a north suburb of what was once the city of Jackson, but no.
It's a very historic part of our city. In 1855, the state built, they called it the Mississippi State Lunatic Asylum in Fondren. So that was, the biggest structure. It was, right on the outskirts of the city. And later on, a farmer from South Carolina came in and bought 500 acres, and his name was Richard Fondren, and that's why it's called Fondren. And, the asylum eventually disappeared, but the grounds of the asylum are now home to UMMC,
right.
St. Dominic's, doctor's offices. I mean, a big medical community that's just grown up over the years. And it's been, since the 30s and 40s, one of Jackson's premier commercial districts.
Right. And that wasn't it the end of the...
It was the end of the line.
Of the line of the...
streetcars.
Streetcars or trolley cars, whatever it was back then.
And Walker's, the Capri Theater opened in 1939, and then Walker's in 1947. And then, by the time I came along with the Everyday Gourmet in 1981... Fondren was really struggling, with business. It had been really on the decline, and the building I had for the Everyday Gourmet has a big round glass front window, and I was looking for a place to put my store, and I walked into that little shopping center, that's right by there. But as I was going back to my car, I saw this wonderful Art Deco building with the glass. And tracked it down. They were just getting ready to tear it down. The service station, the gas tanks were underneath. They used to put a car in the front window of this showroom. So we were kind of a pioneer in the Fondren Renaissance. And just another interesting fact is, at that time, John Evans was looking for a place to put Lemuria. And he actually tried to put it, I don't even know what it is today. It was Hemp Hill Drugs on that old Canton on the other side.
Right.
And the family wouldn't. It had been not Brent, Hemp Hill Drugs. It had been Hemp Hill Drugs, and John tried to buy that to put Lemuria. And boy, we would have been so many years ahead of what it took to build Fondren if that had happened. But artists started moving in, restaurants opened, more independent retailers followed us, and it's Malcolm, as head of the Arts Commission, really promoted the idea of the creative economy, how you can transform a place, with creativity, with artists and restaurants. And I think Fondren's a perfect example.
Yeah, and
I kind of got on the soapbox there.
That's good. Speaking of the Capri and the others, Joe, after a year in Walker's, you are now expanding and you have taken over. Tell us, the Capri Theater, the pizza place, the bowling alley, all of that conglomeration across the street from you is now under your purview, right?
Yes, sir. So a lot of people think we just do the food over there, but really we do everything under the sun. There's really nothing that we don't do. It's honestly, it wasn't doing good number-wise. It's a huge establishment. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
And they put a ton into it. And right now, things weren't going the way that they wanted. So I reached out to Jason, what I was talking about a minute ago, too. He is over the parking garage. Him and David owned the parking garage, and then they sold it to the county. And now they manage the parking garage. So I actually sat down with him to have coffee to speak about setting up valet in front. And at the end of the conversation, he brought up the Pearl. And he was like, what would y'all think about the Pearl? His mindset was kind of...
The Pearl was the restaurant?
Tiki
the Tiki bar. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Let's just back up a minute. Okay, let's back up. The Capri Theater started in 1939, has been closed. It had been closed for, 30-something years?
It was a while, yeah.
Yep. And then that block has been redeveloped, so they've reopened the Capri. Next door to the Capri is bowling alley?
Highball Lanes, yes, ma'am.
Highball Lanes.
Highball Lane, right.
Which has food service.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the Tiki Bar is the Pearl.
The Pearl.
Is right next, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then there's the station, which is the pizza place.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
With the yard in the back. So all of that, so he had a mindset of, I believe, like a little cake. There's a lot of people that were missing the little cake concept. So when he was trying to think of revenue solutions, it was like, well, why don't we see if they want to use the Pearl and have a Walker's small little wine bar, and they can feed those people into the restaurant, kind of like a spot to wait, which Little Kate was originally kind of that. And then from there, I went over the whole establishment, and we just had a conversation. It was like, well, how's everything going as a whole? And next thing we know, I'm signing us up to run the whole entire establishment. So it's been a lot of fun. I would be honest, I didn't go into it because I love bowling or because I love movie theaters. I just do it because I love hospitality. So I'm growing to love bowling. I shot a 194 the other day, and I was super pumped about it. But
bowling is big. I
mean,
it's making a big comeback.
It's slowly. That was actually one of the biggest problems, is that it was really declining. People are super scared that it's just going to just go away.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get it back up and going, and it's slowly but surely happening. It just started with a big deep clean, and now we're implementing structure to the whole establishment and a few things. And I don't want anybody to think that anything is set in stone. The menus over there, the drinks, nothing's set in stone. When Derek bought Walker's, it wasn't the menu that he has today. It was his version. And then as years went, he started implementing new things that worked. And now we have, in my eyes, the perfect menu.
So what is the menu at the different establishments over there now?
So we tried to make them as doable as possible, because if I'm not at the station, or if I'm at Highball, I'm not at the station, and vice versa. So we had to figure out a menu that we could be at multiple places at one time, and it still was happening and not getting sent back, or people were disappointed. We wanted to, because right out of the gate, it was all new people. It was training everybody up at the same time, between 3 locations, and then 4 if you had the yard. So we, implemented fresh pizza dough. So the station, we make all pizza dough in-house fresh. Red sauce, we use great San Marzano tomatoes, and we make house-made red sauce. And then we use quality products. for the toppings. Castle Vetrano olives, a nice Italian sausage, stuff like that. And then at Highball, my big thing was if you're picking up bowling balls, but you have nowhere to wash your hands, you know, we're depending on that napkin doing all the work of, you know, keeping the establishment or the finger holes clean is what I call them. So, I took off the wet wings and I did a few other things. We
thought
really
of wet wings and bowling balls.
I know, and you know, we just made it a much more condensed menu. But as time goes and we have people that can really execute, we plan to add more and do more.
And that menu is served in the theater, the bowling alley, and in the tiki bar?
No, we closed the tiki bar.
Oh, you closed it?
Yes, sir.
So you're not doing anything with
Just
that?
for the time being.
Yeah,
sir.
but eventually it might be a waiting area for walkers or some such.
It could, yeah.
Yeah, but for now it's just the bowling alley and the
Capri and the station.
theater and the pizza. And the theater is how many seats is out there in the yard?
100. Oh, in the Capri or in the yard?
Well, both in the Capri.
In the Capri, I believe it's 179.
Okay, and in the yard?
In the yard, when we had FIFA, there was roughly a little bit over 800 people there.
So it's a big sort of lawn, and you can do live music shows, you can do theater, you can do
just about anything.
You can
So
show
what did you
soccer.
do for the World Cup?
Oh, gosh. I wore an Amazon account out. I mean, I was getting FIFA cups. I had the clackers. We really tried to make it as fun as possible. And that's what we're trying to do with everything across the board when it comes to that yard, because we want everybody to think of where should I take my kids today, because I'm constantly thinking about it. You saw Jack. These kids have energy.
Yeah, man.
And that space, you can close it off. It's got a gate. There's pizza for the kids, and we have the ones for kids, cheese, pepperoni, all the favorites. And now I've implemented, it's called Wild Wednesday. So every Wednesday, and we're working on the time. We did 4:30, but we think it was a little too early this last week. But we did children's karaoke this last week, and it was tons of fun.
Oh, boy.
And then we have the Jackson Zoo coming this Wednesday, and they're going to bring a bearded dragon and a few lizards and a few snakes. And then from there, I think, you know, we've got Jackson Fire Department, and I believe Capitol Police is going to come, and they're going to do a First Responders Day. So
Wow.
we're trying to make the yard the family spot.
Yeah. And how has your staff grown from just running walkers to now running this giant complex across the street?
So that's kind of how I talked everybody into doing it. You know, with where we were at Walker's, if somebody needs a large catering or a wedding, whether it's a rehearsal dinner or a normal wedding, we didn't have the staff at Walker's. We'd have to close the restaurant, and then once you run the numbers, it doesn't really make sense. You didn't do anything. Yeah. So it's like, how do we get the staff? And it's these days it's just expand. So I haven't seen that. I imagine we're at about 80 now, and we can definitely take care of anything, you know, any need. But there's definitely a huge staff, and everybody's really fallen into place, which is making it much more doable.
How do you recruit staff?
It's trial and error. You know, you pray for the best, but unfortunately, there's so many young kids in the industry these days, and they don't understand how much time and work you put into it, and they don't care as much as you do. So they kind of wither away, but then, you know, someone else will come along, and that keeps happening. And I keep getting blessed with better and better people, and it's making the whole thing go round.
How much of your staff at Walker's did you keep from when Derek, or did everybody leave and you start all over, or did you keep some people?
There was one point I remember we were having a meeting, and Taylor Gardner, the general manager, said, this isn't going to happen. And I said, why? She said, we have 2 front of the house servers, and we're like 2 weeks out, and I'm like, we're going to be fine. And she's like, I don't, you know, looking at like, and I'm like, we will. God's got a plan. It'll be fine. And it did. We were. People started to come in, and we got them all in place. But it was 2 front of the house.
That's
and
it.
2 back of the house. So one morning saute guy and one nighttime. It was 3 all day back of the house and a morning dishwasher. So it wasn't very many.
Right.
We had 5 people.
Now, did you close down for a while between in the transition? I can't remember.
It was 11 days.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
To get it ready.
That's kind of a nanosecond to get it ready.
It is. We had a lot to do. We had liquor orders. We had to transfer every single account. We also got the place repainted and new roof put on, new walk-ins. So it was a nanosecond. You're right.
So you got a lot going on, and we're grateful for your time and glad that Walker's is a year under your belt. That must feel good to get that.
It does. It does.
to
It
get
really
that
does.
behind that first year.
But now my mind is, don't be the guy that ruins Walker's. So now it's a whole nother.
No, it's a whole nother thing.
Just make it a year, and now
Don't
it's
blow
like,
Walker's.
Yeah, exactly.
But what do you need from the community right now?
Exactly.
Do you need us to bowl?
Well,
You tell us what you need, because we're real fired up that you're taking over all this.
For sure. The Walkers, I can just easily say thank you, because everybody's exceeded my expectations when it comes to Walkers. With the yard, the block, give it a try. And if you don't love it, let me know. Every day, the only way that I can fix this stuff is if people let me know. I was talking to a guy the other day, and next thing I know, he 3-wayed one of his friends in, and he's like, tell him about the experience you had, and it got nasty, but I have to hear that. It's like, that's the only way that we can fix. Because like I said earlier, I can't be at every place at once. So,
are people starting back with bowling leagues?
Oh my gosh, that's
so
my
wild.
favorite night of the week.
What night is bowling league?
I was
night?
up there.
Tuesday.
So that's the only night they do bowling leagues?
Right now, yes, ma'am. We only have 10 lanes, so it
Yeah,
makes it tough.
it's a small bowling alley.
Yeah.
All right.
That's plenty.
Well, thanks a lot, Joe. We appreciate your
Absolutely.
time, man,
Thank
and
you, guys.
we enjoyed having you here. Deep South Dining is a production of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio and is funded by generous contributions from listeners like yourself. Our show is produced by Marissa Vaughn. For our special guest, Chef Joe Cravens and his 3-year-old son, Jack, and, of course, my co-host, Carol Palmer, I'm Malcolm White saying please stay tuned now for At Issue up next, and join us next Monday at 4 p.m. and every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for an encore show of Deep South Dining. We are heard exclusively on MPB Think Radio, and we are grateful that you have joined us.